Yo, it's Doug Cunnington here, and we are live. I think I'm actually like 1 minute early, which almost never happens, but I'm in a different location today, and I'm going to try and see if I could hear what's going on. Can people hear me, by the way? We shall see. I'm going to talk about the SEO benefits for guest posting for niche sites. I'm going to talk a little bit about the budget because Pritam asked that question, which is a good question for the topic. Additionally, people were asking like how can you tell if you should try and guest post on a site or if you shouldn't try? And Pritam says, you can't hear me, so that's excellent, always a good sign. And while we're waiting for people to join up, I'm in a co-working space today, so you can see that I'm in a much different zone. The lighting is creepy and weird in here today. So there's a different conference room. There's another one that is not landlocked. So I have a window here, but it's to a brick wall. So not helpful at all. But there's another conference room that's much larger, much nicer. Someone ducked in there right before I was able to. So anyway, I'm in a co-working space in Bozeman today. It's called like Co-work Bozeman, and just testing it out, trying to see how it is to work here. I may actually check it out for a month or something like that. We'll see how it goes today. It's new, it's brand new. They're building it out. This is kind of like in the Main Street area, so it's interesting. There's a lot of coffee shops around here and restaurants and stuff like that, but it is good to occasionally get out of the house. So all right, we got a few people joining up, which is cool, and I see Pritam's asking several questions, which is awesome. Cool thing here, so I saw in the pictures on their website they had some standing desks. So I thought, hey, I'm going to check those out. And I even thought, hey, David, what's up? By the way, I think a lot of people are going to be coming on. Let me know if it's the first time that you are watching today. I did send out an email this morning and put a little information out, just doing live streams and stuff. So I'm interested if some new folks actually are in here today. So yeah, I thought about potentially, I'm going to be doing some more like YouTube videos and stuff. And I thought potentially it could be good to, go to like one of the conference rooms, bring my camera and, get some stuff done in there. It is nice to have a whiteboard and some other stuff. Again, the other room is much nicer looking. They had these sort of, cool chairs and like a giant table. And I think you could fit probably like 20 people in there. So I would be taking up a lot of room, but it is worth it to check out, and it'll be good to potentially meet some other people that are working at home or remotely or whatever. So hi Nigel, what's up? If you're just joining up, give me a shout in the chat room. You can ask your questions there about guest posting, by the way, and you can say hello. Let me know where you're at. Okay, so we're a couple minutes after the hour, and I'll just sort of recap. Today what we're going to cover is the SEO benefits of guest posting for niche sites or authority sites, whatever you happen to call them. Some people call them different things. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the costs of how much you should budget, because Pritam was asking that. Then I basically will go into, sort of how to choose what sites to approach. This was a question that came up a few weeks back. Basically, someone was like, well, if I have, have 5 options, I'm looking at the metrics for the site, I'm trying to figure out which one of these sites I should approach. Like, how can you tell? So I'll go into that a little bit. And, part of the answer is it's tricky to tell. So I'll tell you some of the stuff that I look for. And I see Danish is on. What's up? Good to have you on. Sarah Woot, up late at night. It must be midnight or 1 a.m. or something. Good to have you on. Thanks for joining today. Okay, so first off, benefits. Well, basically, there are SEO benefits. We have to do something to get links. If you're doing guest posting, it's usually, we're making the assumption that you believe that backlinks help you, which, I think most of us do. If you're new, backlinks do help you rank higher in Google. Generally, you have options. You can go, sort of gray hat, which is like private blog networks, paying for links in some fashion, doing something that violates the terms of service for Google, for the Google terms of service for webmasters, some sort of violation there. The white hat side is, outreach. You're getting natural links. You're not paying for them, that kind of stuff. We're talking about white hat links here, and basically, if you want to rank your site for more competitive terms, then you do need to get some backlinks. Now, as far as like how much of a benefit you can get, that's really hard to tell. So there, and this gets into the the question that spawned this whole topic today, which is if you're looking at, say, 2 different sites, or we'll just say 3, you're looking at 3 different sites. You can look at their their metrics on Moz, so the domain authority and like the page authority of the home page. Maybe they have a high PA on just one of their pages for some reason, and it's exceedingly higher than many of the other pages. You can look at Ahrefs, they have a domain rating, and then you can look at Majestic, and they have some sort of trust flow, citation flow, and different stuff like that. So you have the opportunity to look at the metrics and see like how authoritative these sites are. And I guess the main question that this reader or viewer had was around, if I see one that has much higher metrics, should I go for that one or not? It's really hard to tell. Just by default, when we go look at like guest posting services or something like that, they almost always base the pricing on the authority, right? They have to. I ran a guest posting service for about 8 months or so, 10 months, something like that. And basically, you have to charge on something, and the sort of industry standard was, some sort of metric from Moz or Ahrefs or Majestic. A lot of people, Moz is misleading, sort of, they're not the latest and greatest and the best right now. So maybe Majestic, the trust flow is a little bit better. So I think it's sort of propagated because people that offer the services do charge based on the authority, or whatever you call it. And the thing is, it's really hard to tell. It's really difficult to tell. Those are metrics based on estimations, based on the backlinks that other sites are sending to that particular page. It does give us a baseline, so it can help you compare 2 different sites. That's why it's helpful. Now, when I actually am looking at, let's say we have 3 different sites, back to my example. Let's say we have 3 different sites. They all have the exact same metrics. Maybe that would be a little bit unusual, but they have the exact same metrics across each of the different, wherever you're getting your metrics from, Majestic, Ahrefs, or Moz, they have the same metrics. Okay, so they looked equal. What I would do then is check out how many comments they get. What I want to find out is whether people actually go to those blogs and read the content. The reason why is I think the biggest SEO benefits are from backlinks where traffic actually flows. So if you have a guest post and you have your link to your site over here, it is most helpful, most effective if actual real traffic goes to that page and then goes to your site through the link. Those are the most powerful ones in my opinion. And I don't remember the exact post, but I know that Matt Diggity over at Diggity Marketing, he's a gray hat guy, good guy overall, super smart, cutting edge SEO, and he has a theory on the gray hat side that's super similar, where if you could actually get your PBN, your private blog network site ranking for some term, and you get a link from that page and traffic actually goes through it, well, that's the most powerful kind of PBN backlink you can get. So, taking that same thought over to the white hat side, if you can get traffic through your guest post link, that's going to be a very good thing. It's a good sign to Google that it's an actual real link. Additionally, you want to put your guest post on a site that actually gets traffic. So that is the overall goal. The overarching idea is to get your guest post on a site that actually has traffic that may actually follow your link. Okay, now overall idea. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to be less shut the hell up sometimes. So I'm going to answer some questions here. I'm going to answer some of these questions. We got a bunch of them, so that's cool. By the way, I see we have quite a few folks on. Thanks for joining today. Give me a shout in the chat room. Let me know if it's your first time in there. And cool. So I'm just going to go back to the top. Pretom says, how much budget should I for a guest posting campaign? Sorry, folks, I'm just reading it. Sometimes not everyone writes all the words, so I fumble over it. So I apologize for that. Basically, how much should I set aside for a guest posting campaign for one site? You've already collected the prospects with a footprint like Right For Us. First, I'm going to right off the bat, if you're looking for Right For Us, you are doing a disservice to yourself, because that is what everyone looks for. That is the worst footprint you can look for. Okay, so maybe some other day in the future, I'll talk about better footprints to look for, but Pretom, unfortunately, Right For Us is not a good one to look for. But as far as a guest posting campaign and how much budget you should set aside, there are way too many factors involved. I think there are way too many variables, because it depends on what kind of VA you're hiring. And I see you asked a lot more questions, so maybe we'll get to it. Depends on what kind of VA you're hiring, what you expect them to do, many things. So I would say, set aside, if I had to guess, you probably will be able to get a guest post for about $50 to $100 all in. One guest post, $50 to $100. If you're outsourcing a lot of it, including the prospecting and all the waste that comes with doing the research, and wrong word, there's a lot of effort that leads to the roughly 4% conversion up to a 40% conversion of all the people you're emailing. Totally depends on how you're setting up your outreach. I could tell you, I'll have to think back a little bit. This will just be an estimate. When I got roughly, I think I got 23 to 25 guest posts. I had 2 VAs that I was paying about $10 an hour. I believe it cost about $1,000 to $1,200, something like that, in that range. That's the ballpark. So if we do the math, I think that's about $50, give or take. I'm doing really rough math in my head. So $50 per guest post. Again, there's a ton of factors in there. There's a ton of variables depending on how you set up your campaign stuff. So cool. This is a good question. I'm going to just keep rolling through here. By the way, if people are hopping on now, let me know where you're from. And if you have questions about the SEO benefits and all that stuff, let me know. And by the way, I always forget to ask, if you have the opportunity, please click the thumbs up and the like. If you're watching it later, you could ask questions in the comments, by the way. Okay. Pretom then asked, how much should I spend for a link? I'm trying to build a relationship at this moment to make the link free in exchange for good content, which costs like $20. Okay, that's cool. But if I need to pay for the link, then $20 to $30, then 10 to 15 for content, that's like $40 to $45 a link. Well, Pretom, based on what I just said before, that's a bargain, man. You need to be doing that as much as possible. I'm paying $50 to $100, so go for it. I think it's good. And Sarah Wood says it's 11 p.m. there, so cool. Thanks for staying up late or waking up. Okay, Pretom then says, how many words for guest post? Like 1,000, or do I need to make it longer? Whatever is common on that particular blog, fit that blog. So there's no like one answer. You should look at some of their most popular content. If it's short form, do short form. If it's long form, do long form. So it depends. I could tell you though, if you try to post if you send like a 2,000 word post to someone who usually has like 800 words or 400 words, they're not going to want it. It's going to be too long. They'll think their readers won't like it, so on and so forth. So you need to match, the environment that you're in. Just do the research there and then adapt. Pretem says, we're hearing a lot of buzz that Google is devaluing scholarship and EDU links. Do you believe it? Any advice? Here's some buzz like that too. I think if you look at some scholarship pages, you'll see there are all sorts of crazy different scholarships basically for internet marketing like people. So I would say yes, I do believe that. However, I think it's probably good to have a few links that are from EDU sites. So maybe you do a small campaign, you get a few links. I think that's good to have diversity in your links. Full disclosure, I've never done like a test where I like legitimately did an experiment to see, if it helped or not. I can tell you that there are some case studies that point out that, EDU links are the most, powerful link that a particular site had. I can't remember this case study, but basically, the site's making like 20K a month or something like that. And they claim that it's basically all scholarship links. And I think there's actually other stuff going on. If you go check out the backlink profile, I think you'll find some interesting stuff. So overall, yeah, I would say like scholarship links, I don't know, maybe your time's better spent elsewhere. Okay, and cool. Then we say Nigel. Cool, thanks, Nigel. What about guest post quality based on traffic or ranking for relevant keywords in your niche? What about guest post quality based on traffic or ranking? I'm not sure what that question actually means, Nigel. So can you rephrase it? I'm not sure. I really don't understand. What about it? What about guest post quality based on the traffic or ranking? I'm not sure. So rephrase it and I'll see if I can answer it. It sounds more like a statement. And then Nigel says, what about fake traffic? I think that's probably not helpful. I don't think fake traffic is helpful to send through a link or anything like that. If there are isolated, case studies and experiments, I'm sure, there's someone will tell you that it's valuable, and they're probably selling, say, fake traffic to you. So I would not say that's a good strategy. Next, Pretem says, I'm not seeing metrics to outreach for guest posting link. Even trying to get a link if they have 1,000 traffic each month. I believe contextual has value. Yeah, actually, that is something I totally forgot to mention. Look at the metrics. It doesn't matter. I'm usually going for relevancy. So I don't even look at the metrics, which I guess is an important point. A lot of the stuff that I mentioned is around things that I ignore. So I ignore a lot of stuff, by the way. Okay, Danish says, my domain name is a keyword itself and also has some value on Google. It's been almost 15 days since I started adding links. I can see that the keyword on the #1 spot and is #1 on Bing and Google, but Google is missing my domain name that is the keyword itself. Okay, this is a super long question. Maybe it's just a story, but Danish, I appreciate you writing this. I'm just trying to work through here. Keeping in mind that this domain name is a keyword and it has traffic, as other analytics in this keyword, can you please tell me why you're not able to see your keyword in the Google search? So It needs more time, Danish. You said it's only been 15 days. So just be patient, keep adding these backlinks, and check in with me in like 6 weeks and then again in 12 weeks. And I'm pretty sure those links are good. Something's going to happen. And then again, check in with me in about 6 months. I mean, this stuff has a long timeline now. The days are gone when you could add a link and then things would, skyrocket. So you used to be able to add a link and see a movement like the next day or so. Now it's like several weeks. So be patient. Just be patient, and that is why. That is why you're not seeing it. QDog says, is social bookmarking still effective today? Buying, for example, buying a Fiverr gig to socially bookmark on 20 blah, blah, blah. No, I don't think it's very effective. I don't do that. QDog, thank you for liking. That is appreciated. And I see we have about like 16 people still on. I know people filter in and out, but we only have 5 thumbs up. So do me a favor, if you're still on right now, if I've answered some of your questions, give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Paul, what's up? You have numerous keywords on page 1. Should I still build guest post links for those keywords or try and rank new ones? I would say if you have at least like 10 to 15 guest posts pointing to each one of the pages that you want to rank, then you can go ahead and move on to a new one. But if you don't have at least 10 to 15, keep getting those guest post links, okay? So push hard, push more than you think you need. Like, everything usually takes more effort, and you're better off ranking like one of those keywords number 1 than ranking like, is it like position 10, basically. So go ahead, keep pushing hard, and you should be able to get those post up to number 1. Paul says, is there a benefit to get a link to a non-affiliate content if it has internal? Yeah, there's a benefit to get links anywhere on your site. Non-affiliate content is important too. It helps balance out your site, but you could also, well, number 1, you could put affiliate links in your non-affiliate review content, but you could also place interlinks on your site, which is hugely valuable. So do that for sure. Nigel says, do I remove stop words from the page URL when doing KGR? Not always. Randomness is good, so sometimes it's in there, sometimes it's not. And let's see, Pritam says, you're waiting for the guest post footprint, which is not oversaturated. So basically, and I see we're coming up to the end of the questions here. So any last ones before we sign out, type them in now. And I'm going to head back out in a second, get out of this little room. I will say the AC works awesome. It's very cool in here. All right. The footprint will be a topic for a different day. But I will tell you, Pritam, figure out your own. Because if I tell people footprints, then people are just going to do those footprints. They're just going to be saturated again. So figure out your own. And the one tip that I'll tell you is I make mine so basic. So it's like some sort of a topic. So I look for, I don't know what it may be, but I look for a topic, and then I look for blogs that are active by looking for leave a comment or leave a reply, so I can go comment on their blog. So my method is like, the funnel's so big, it's so general that it's almost not helpful. That's literally what I look for. Leave a reply, leave a comment, something like that, and then start building the relationship and go from there. But if you look for right for us, garbage. That's what everyone's looking for. I don't even have, I get so many pitches on my sites right now, it's ridiculous. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Pritam says, do I outsource everything for guest posts? Yeah, pretty much. But like right now, I'm not doing it actively. I'm kind of working on content right now. Yeah, because honestly, I don't enjoy doing like the whole song and dance start to finish. And QDog says, you're British and you write your content in British English, so that just means like he spells color with a U in it and stuff like that. And you're asking, would it be wise to phrase it in American English? It doesn't matter, you know, whatever you want to do. People understand that is, I mean, many Canadians spell in the English fashion as well. And it's totally fine. I mean, it's just whatever you want to do. I don't think it's a deal breaker or anything like that. Cool. And then Majdi says, hey, Doug. Welcome, Majdi. Thank you for joining up. If I can't do guest posts, where can I buy a good guest post? I don't know. I think, I mean, you can't really buy a good guest post, but if you are, you know, one thing, I practice certain things and I do certain things, but I also know like the gray hat stuff. I know like alternative methods to do things. So if you really want to buy guest posts, I would just go to a service like the Hoth and check out what service fits your budget. Go ahead and get it there. I will tell you, if you're trying to buy your way to good rankings, it's going to be expensive if you want to do a good job. Like, you can do a cheap job, but it probably won't, you know, get you the rankings that you want. If you actually want to get rankings and have longevity, it's going to be very expensive. So, I mean, you have to figure out, I mean, for some people, like they actually want to get quick results. Maybe they don't care about long-lasting results. Everyone's a little different. Me, I've gone through the period of, you know, getting penalties, and it sucks. So I don't do that anymore. So anyway, Majdi, I'm not sure, but I would go to a service like the Hoth, or I think PBN Butler is another legit service. Matt Diggity, he has a fantastic PBN. I mean, if you're trying to buy a good guest post, then probably not going to be that great. And if you want it to be good, it's going to be like super expensive. So okay, and QDog says, your metrics show that you should write your content in American English. Okay, I trust you. I don't think there'll be an issue, penalty, if you do that. So, okay, cool. I think we're set for today. By the way, I appreciate everyone hopping on. I am glad that you joined me today. And just a quick reminder, if you didn't hit thumbs up, then please hit thumbs up. It helps other people find this video, which is a good thing. And, you know, I'm going to be doing, actually, keep your eye out. I'm going to be doing some more shorter form videos. This one's even going to be long for what is coming out, but I'm going to try and do some like quick hit stuff. I'm going to try to come up with a good publishing schedule, actually plan ahead a little bit. I've just been treading water for a little while. So, okay, we'll catch you tomorrow and have a good one. We will see you later.